What's going on, guys? Unknown Player here, and today we've got a bunch more topics to go over. There's even more Easter eggs and Overwatch references, a very small update that went live today, some useful tips about Iron Banner, an interview with Lord Shaxx about some DLC, and even more, so a lot to discuss. Firstly, let's talk about this very tiny update that hit Destiny 2 today, and I mean tiny, literally one thing was done, and this is Hotfix or patch number 1.0.3.2. So this one fixed an issue which was causing crashes while loading into the tower. So there you go, very simple thing, but something a ton of people have been experiencing. So it's nice to have that fixed. It is really weird for them to push a hotfix just for this one thing, but I guess they figured out how to do it and probably didn't want to wait until next week for the next update, which should be going live on Tuesday for the raid at cheese fix. But there you go, no longer should we be stuck at black screens or crashing while loading into the tower. So next up, let's talk about those Easter eggs and game crossovers. A ton of you guys commented on yesterday's video with some really interesting stuff, which I appreciate. About half the stuff I did know, but half of it I had no idea about. So it's nice to have everyone collectively pointing out all these facts about gaming. But in yesterday's video, of course, I showed off how the voice actor for Lord Saladin also voices Reaper in Overwatch, and they put a really cool Easter egg into Iron Banner referencing that. Now, as well as that, also the voice actor for Callus is the same one that plays Reinhardt in Overwatch. Zer's voice actor plays Soldier 76 in Overwatch. One of the human male characters back in Destiny 1 when we could speak is McCree in Overwatch. And also one of the awoken male characters from Destiny 1 is Winston from Overwatch. So a ton of crossovers there. A couple of people said that Saladin calls you a Reaper or a Grim Reaper, which I haven't heard myself. Not sure if that does happen or if it's something you can do in-game, but apparently he calls you a Reaper sometimes. If that is the case, then that would be very cool. Now, on the Call of Duty side of things, of course, Nolan North, who is definitely one of the biggest names in video game voice acting. He voices our Ghost, of course, in Destiny, since they got rid of Peter Dinklage, and Nolan North also voices Richtofen in COD Zombies, probably the most iconic character in all of COD Zombies, to be honest, a very, very good character. There's also our friendly NPC in the European Dead Zone, being Devram Kay. He also voiced Gideon, who is one of the main characters in COD Advanced Warfare, and D.Va in Overwatch apparently is the same voice actor as Seraph in Black Ops 3, so a ton of crossovers between these Activision and Blizzard games. I don't think there have been or will be any more big Easter eggs like Saladin and Reaper. It would be cool to have Callus say something like Reinhardt, but I doubt that'll happen. I think the Saladin thing was definitely a one-off. There's also some weapons in Destiny 2 that have references to Overwatch, one which I already knew about, which is the Vice sniper rifle called Widow's Bite, and Widowmaker, an Overwatch character, her iconic sniper weapon is called the Widow's Kiss. One that a ton of you guys let me know about is the Crucible grenade launcher from Shaxx. This one is called Play of the Game. Now, if you don't play Overwatch, Play of the Game is essentially a highlight reel or a video clip that plays the end of a match, showcasing a really good play. I always wish Destiny had something like that, but the text of this weapon reads, "Show no mercy." Now, early on for Overwatch, it was a running joke how the character Mercy could get play of the game just by damage boosting other characters actually making the plays, and it was funny to have this epic play of the game going, and she just stood there holding a button. So I think Blizzard kind of took the complaints, and they eventually changed it so it didn't happen as often. But the text of this grenade launcher directly contradicts the name of it, so show no mercy in play of the game, or don't show mercy in the play of the game. So there's a pretty funny back and forth there, and I wouldn't be surprised if there are even more weapons inside Destiny 2 that have Overwatch Easter eggs, or maybe some coming in the future. Also, for clarification, I saw a ton of people confused about what these games have to do with each other and the whole Activision Blizzard thing, but that is the parent company in charge of everything. Underneath Activision Blizzard is Activision by itself, another separate company that publishes games like COD and Destiny. The developers of those games like Bungie and Treyarch own their own games and themselves aren't owned by Activision, but Activision partners with these developers and owns the publishing rights, so Bungie make and own Destiny, while Activision promotes it, sell it, and distribute it to you. Now, also under the big company of Activision Blizzard, there's then Blizzard Entertainment, and by themselves, they are really unique because they develop and publish their own games, and they also have a really good PC platform, one of the best, being called Battle.net, and because they're partnered with Activision, obviously owned by that big company, that is why Destiny 2 is on Battle.net, sort of with the other Blizzard games. So I know it's a bit of a mess, but I saw so much confusion, and hopefully that explained it well enough, what Destiny 2 has to do with these games and companies, and why you see Overwatch Easter eggs inside Destiny 2. So moving on to the next topic, on a similar note of voice actors, the voice actor for Lord Shaxx in Destiny, called Lenny James, did an interview with GameSpot, and they asked him what his favourite Lord Shaxx line is, and funnily enough, it's actually one that isn't in the game just yet, or may have been cut, but it's actually also a Romeo and Juliet reference. You'll probably recognise it, and it's one of the most famous lines, and it's "But soft, what light through yonder window breaks, it is the east, and I am the crucible." So it's basically Romeo and Juliet from Shakespeare, but with Lord Shaxx putting his own twist on it, and of course making it about himself. Never thought I'd hear Lord Shaxx quoting Shakespeare, but there you go, that's a line that hasn't actually made it into the game yet. And then he also said, this time last week, I was just about to go into the studio to do another 3-hour session for another add-on they're bringing out for Destiny 2 in the next few months, he continued. So he's obviously talking about the Curse of Osiris DLC, and apparently Lord Shaxx is getting some new dialogue lines, which is pretty interesting. The fact there's another one of these 3-hour sessions, which apparently is normal for him and Lord Shaxx recording sessions, so I'm guessing he has quite a lot to say, so maybe there's some kind of new game mode inside the Curse of Osiris DLC, because otherwise they wouldn't need him for such a long time to record so many lines. So who knows, it's very possible this could be some kind of new game mode, maybe Rift or Capture the Flag. I definitely would not be surprised about them adding one more game mode in an expansion. It's a very normal thing for them to do, and obviously that's just my speculation, but I can't see any other reason of why Shaxx would need to record so many new voice lines. So it's very likely there's going to be some kind of new Crucible mode inside the Curse of Osiris DLC, which is set to come out in 2 months from now. So next up, something about Iron Banner, and hopefully some useful advice for any of you with multiple characters that some people still don't know about. Of course, there are those daily challenges that you do for bonus tokens from Saladin, and they are also character-based, not account-based. So you do them on all 3 characters every single day, and definitely take advantage of this. Play on all 3 characters, you'll get a ton of tokens. But of course, the tokens themselves are account-wide, so if you have 3 characters, of course, you can hop on all of them and get your daily challenges done, and then open up those engram packages on the one that you want the armor the most for. The RNG on the armor pieces seem to be quite low actually, so make sure you're smart about which one you play on and which one you open up the engrams for. As I said in yesterday's video, there's no cap on the engrams like Faction Rally, so you can open up an infinite amount of them according to Bungie. So next up, there's also an exclusive emblem from Mega Constructs if you buy some stuff with them, which is another Activision or Destiny 2 partner. And this one is called Brick by Brick, as you can see on screen right now. And you get this with any purchase of a Mega Constructs Destiny product. So you might remember these things have a lot of figures for Destiny 2. It's pretty funny because this Cabal Bruiser set is actually the one that leaked Destiny 2 in the very first place about the Cabal invasion and the tower being under attack. I mean, technically it wasn't Mega Bloks' fault, it was Amazon that listed it too early, but that was our very first look at Destiny 2, and there weren't any pictures, but the description said Lord Shaxx is fighting the Red Legion in the tower hangar with his raise lighter. I covered in a recent video how the McFarlane action figure set for Destiny 2, another partner, they have this exclusive emblem called Hellspawn, and it does seem like most of the Destiny 2 official partners might have emblems along with their merchandise, so look out for some more stuff, and of course I'll keep you guys up to date if there's any more that get announced. As well as that, with the weekly reset, of course, the Flashpoint has changed to Nessus, and as always, you can get these 2 emblems. There are specific enemies that only show up on the Flashpoint, and they have a chance to drop these emblems, and it's the only place you'll get them from. So they're moderately rare, obviously depending on how many public events you've done. I mean, I've done probably a couple hundred public events in Heroic, and I still only have one of the emblems. I don't have the yellow Gone Hunting one, so they are quite rare depending on your RNG, of course. But there you go, a big roundup of a bunch of interesting stuff. If you enjoyed the video and want to help support the channel, then a like rating down below would be much appreciated. You can click the image on screen right now to watch a recent video I made. And of course, I've got a bunch more Destiny 2 videos on the way very soon, so make sure you are subscribed if you aren't already. And I'll see you guys next one.